Hey cruisers, it's Tim and Kathy, and we're coming to you from the Sapphire Princess, and we really want to just take a moment and talk about what is it like to do the Antarctic leg, the Latin America leg of cruising.
Okay, so we've been on here for 53 days. This is not just about a cruise on the Sapphire. I think Majestic is doing this itinerary. Other cruise lines do this itinerary. So this is really about kind of cruising down from North America. We cruised from LA all the way down the Pacific coast of South America.
Through Cape Horn.
And the Strait of Magellan, up the Atlantic side a bit, doing Antarctica, the whole spiel. So first, we want to give you a little overview.
Yeah, kind of talk about what this is all about.
Yeah, and like some tips, some packing tips. We are going to have a packing video coming out, so be sure you subscribe both on this channel, Cruise Through Retirement, and on our Nomad channel, Taste Life with Us. I'm not sure which one it's going to be on, but it'll be out there. Your ports may vary, so we're going to give you some overall information that is important to know ahead of time that we wish we would have known ahead of time.
Would have made it easier.
And then after that, we're going to show you some video from some of the ports, kind of let you know how it went, and a little bit more detail, but we're still going to keep it short. There's more videos. You can watch the whole playlist. We'll link it at the end. So, how was it being on the ship for 53 days?
You know what? Being on the ship for 53 days actually was great. You start off in a nice warm, even though you leave the U.S. Long Beach area in the wintertime, November, it's still warm. It's Southern California. Yeah. And you go through a nice warm area. You get a little hot as you come down across the equator.
Mexico, come down Central America, past Panama. So you've got some hot, humid weather.
You do. So
you could work on your tan a little. Yep. We did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good because then
you lose it all.
It kept getting colder and colder and more rainy and windy as we went.
So the key, basically what we're saying here is packing is essential for this trip.
Yes.
Whether you're a nomad like us and so you don't have very much luggage to begin with, or if you're somebody who's coming on here with loads of luggage, you still want to consider the two variations of weather. Remember, Antarctica, 0 degrees of warmth.
Yes.
And Lima, Peru, freaking hot.
Yeah. So think of it like this, like you went skiing in Hawaii. Okay? You might need a little bit of those ski resort type clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Hat, gloves, face mask really came in handy a few times.
Yes.
You might only need a windbreaker in some places. That's enough. Other places you want that windbreaker over your puffy jacket, which is maybe over your puffy vest with a turtleneck.
Over a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah. Other areas, you're wearing a bathing suit and it's hot.
Shorts and thongs,
Yeah, that kind of thing. So you need a little of everything. You need layers.
Yes.
And also, remember, this is the kind of cruise that you are sailing by Antarctica.
True. Yeah.
You are not getting off.
Right. So, quick review of Antarctic cruises. There's basically two types. There's the sail-by, which is the large cruise ships that we're on. Mm-hmm. And then there's the research vessels where you may actually...
Expedition ships.
Where you actually may get out and stake a flag on the property.
I don't know about flags, but they have less than 500 passengers. They're very small. It's a very different experience.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some friends who went. They even went camping on the ice in a tent. They did some ice climbing. They were walking literally among the penguins instead of seeing them through their binoculars.
So with that said, different set of clothing.
Right. People on those kind of cruises are going to maybe even go rent some very heavy duty clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. Don't worry about that. In fact, unless you want to sit outside on the decks all day to watch the scenery, you're fine most of the time in like a sweatshirt and jeans and long underwear inside the ship near a door. That's why it's still cold. And you can hop out for 5 minutes, take some photos, hop back inside. right? If you're going to stay any longer, you're going to want to bundle up.
Okay.
But the reason we're telling you about this bundling is because when you get off in the ports down there, like in Patagonia, which is the far south of South America, so Ushuaia, Punta Arenas, Chile, down in the Falkland Islands, which is where you can do a lot of penguin excursions that are fantastic, but
beautiful.
It can be freezing in those places.
Cold, snowy.
Rainy, windy. Yeah. We did have some snow in Antarctica, which I guess is not very common on these cruises. So that was a treat.
So anyway, layers when you're packing. Okay. Yeah. Next thing you need to consider packing, I'm just flat out tell you, binoculars.
Absolutely bring binoculars. Yeah. They have them on the ship. They're expensive. And there's limited selection. You want what you need. In fact, I have an astigmatism, so I used a monocle. And for me, it did much better than I've ever done with binoculars. Yeah. So do a little research with ChatGPT or something and get some recommendations.
Yeah, I thought the monocle was fun. I felt very piratey, had my one little... Other thing to consider when packing for this is, do you want good pictures, great pictures, or phenomenal pictures? So, and let's face it, if we're just...
We had some people on this with these huge lenses. I mean, out there all the time.
It took 2 hands for them to hold their camera set up. And
they've got cinematic quality photos.
Phenomenal.
And there's us with our iPhone 13.
You're looking at what we did, you know. And the thing is, why it's important is because your zoom lens is going to be just probably your most important feature that you have. You know, you have the Nikons and the Canons and the huge lenses. You have your iPhone, which does have zoom, but realize you're going to get fuzzy. And then I'm going to pop up a picture of this little device right here. It was something someone else had on this cruise that I kind of want to look for, honestly.
Yeah, if we find it on Amazon, we'll put a link down below. She was getting great pictures because it literally zoomed in like your eye, not like digitally where you get pixelated when you zoom.
Right. So basically what it did is, like, if your iPhone has a 5 times magnification for the new ones, ours is a 3 times magnification for the little bit older ones. It literally was a magnifying lens to that lens and just doubled it. So it would take it to a 6 or a 10 times. And
not only that, she didn't just use it for photography, but that's what she used instead of binoculars.
Yes.
Which I wish I would have had that, because I'm not great at binoculars, monocles. Hers was so much easier to see, and she could see a lot more than we could.
Right. And so the reason why I bring all that up is because you are viewing some incredible stuff out here.
Unbelievable.
I mean, and you want to have the best equipment to see it. Because again, you're on a large cruise ship, so you're not necessarily getting as close as you would like to get.
Yeah, you do get surprisingly close to the land.
Yes.
And penguins float by.
Swim by.
On icebergs. And they swim by in the water. And there's whales, some of which are very close to the ship.
Right.
You go into little bays and you just turn around and around where you can see the glacier. So you can see the penguins with your naked eye, in the sense that you can tell they're over there. They're little lines and spots. You can see them better close up, but not enough with our quality of equipment, which, granted, we did not have high quality. Not enough to say, like, oh, that's a chinstrap penguin or a Magellanic penguin, or, you know, you get the point. Yeah. But if you have enough zoom, you actually know what you're looking at.
Absolutely. And it makes it easier then for you to see, look inside, and then jump outside and take a better picture. Otherwise, you're going to end up sitting outside, down on closer to the water, deck 7, because now you're closer to everything, but you're also outside, and it's very cold.
Right. So, yeah, the windows do affect. If you're just thinking, oh, I'll just stay inside the whole time, your pictures are going to be blue toned. I'll pop some up so you can see what I'm talking about here. When you go outside, you see it clearly.
Right.
So you do want to be in a place where you can view in the warmth of the ship, but get outside quickly and easily if there's something you want good photos of.
Absolutely. And it is exciting because you're learning about all of this nature and geography and the whole history through the enrichment program that's going on the ship. And so it does like just pique your interest to say, hey, I want to see this.
Ours was fantastic. I'm sure this varies by cruise line and ship, but just learning about all the different kinds of wildlife that you're seeing all the way down the coast, not just Antarctica.
That's true.
We were learning all through Chile and Argentina. You're learning about the explorers. You're learning about, as you go through the Strait of Magellan, you're learning about that kind of thing, and Cape Horn, and the geology of ice. And
you're also learning about, Ecuador and Peru and how the explorers were coming in, the conquistadors, and just how all of that affected it. And
the destination talks were great history lessons.
And so then like you get off and you're like, okay, I want to go see these forts. I want to go see these things.
It's such a learning cruise compared to any cruise we've ever been on.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable how much we learned and enjoyed learning from the stories to the wildlife. It was really, really phenomenal. It's also a very international cruise itinerary. So you do have a lot of Americans, Canadians, and Brits, as you do on all cruises, who tend to be extremely well-traveled, fascinating to talk to. They've been all over the world because most people don't take these super long cruises, right? But you also have a lot of people getting on in Chile and in Buenos Aires who either are South American, or you also have a lot of Asians. You have a lot of Northern Europeans who maybe want to see the South Pole as much as the North Pole. Don't see the poles, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. And you also, on our ship at least, it was trilingual. In all of the announcements were also in Mandarin, Chinese, and Spanish. So that was an unusual, interesting thing.
Yeah, the interesting aspect of this whole, and again, this is just a whole segment that's coming down through Latin America. So it's a little different, I think, especially for most Americans who are cruising, because we always cruise lines that either go to Europe or we cruise lines that go to the Caribbean. And so South America, it's
an adventure.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about the actual Antarctic leg, now, I think often you're going to have the case that it's a holiday cruise because that's the time of year it's best. So we had Christmas and New Year's on here. But a lot of people flew down to Argentina and got on in Buenos Aires, and it was a much younger demographic.
It really was.
Because I think that's the only way to see Antarctica, really.
Yeah, it's that bucket list cruise, and so it's a bucket list destination, and so younger people are more willing to do that. And it was fun. It was a fun mix of
you had a lot of families
generations
because of the holidays, but you also had a lot of couples in their maybe late 20s to mid 40s, a younger demographic than you usually get on these types of cruises. So I thought that was a really cool thing, very interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, when you are doing the whole 53 days, there are some repeats.
Yeah, obviously you're going to get repeats of a few ports, you're going to get repeats of entertainment on the ship, you're going to get repeats of menus and dining.
You actually go through the Strait of Magellan twice. The first time, which was on the second leg of this, it was, the naturalists were talking, the historians over the loudspeaker. It was a whole thing. Everybody's out there watching it.
Well, because you go through the Glacier Alley.
And Glacier Alley, then you go out, you go around Cape Horn, you learn all about that, you take your pictures. It's an incredible, absolutely bucket list, incredible experience.
Yeah, totally.
Now, on the third leg for Antarctica, we also went through there.
But they went through much quicker, it seemed like.
And I think it was like much earlier in the morning. I don't know. I guess there was people that were really out there, but they didn't make a big deal of it the same way. So I felt like that experience was better on the leg from Santiago, Chile to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Did you?
Yeah, I really did. And again, partly because that's what was exciting about it. Now, the third leg from Buenos Aires down to Antarctica and back, the focus of that leg is Antarctica.
100% Antarctica, even though you actually kind of go out the same way.
Right.
And you do visit Ushuaia, Argentina, which is the southernmost point on that side, and Puerto Arenas, Chile, which is the southernmost on the other side.
Yeah. So there's those things that are going on, and so if you're making decisions on, do I want to do all three legs, do I want to do one versus the other, it kind of is a tough call, because they each have their own separate thing that they want to focus on.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth it to do too. Now, not only was there a lot of targeted enrichment programs, there was a lot of targeted entertainment, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because I had originally thought when we stopped in Buenos Aires, we should see a tango show.
Yes.
We didn't need to do that. I'm glad I didn't book it, because
we've seen 3 or 4 tango shows.
Yeah, there's been phenomenal dance shows of native dance. And mostly tango, some rumba, some
and really what they've been is they've been professional international dance partners for the most part.
They did have a folklorica show with a local dance troupe that came on, and it was really, really good. They've had Spanish lessons. It's been very targeted in many, many ways.
Right. Not only just for the holidays, but because of, again, being in Latin America, focusing in on some of that. Yeah. Which, for us, we appreciate that. We thought it was great.
If you're interested in what it's like to spend the holidays on a ship, we are going to also have a video coming up on all holidays on lots of cruise ships, because we do it a lot. But a lot of, from this Princess Cruise, what was Christmas and New Year's like too. If you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about the weather, because everybody wants to know.
Well, we've kind of touched on it. It's freaking hot, freaking cold, freaking hot.
So there's some other things I like. The daylight hours change dramatically as you go south.
And that's interesting, because again, leaving, Long Beach, Southern California, we got short days in November.
And then we got to some nice sunsets. And then we got to where the sun doesn't really set. Technically like 11:30, and then it rises at 2:30. But we were out there smack in the middle of that, and it was like twilight.
New Year's Eve, we were out there. We did the New Year's. We're 12:30, 1 o'clock outside, and it's twilight.
It was blue. You could see. It's only dark for 3 hours. Or actually like 2.5 hours a night.
Let's say we walk down the outside of the ship.
Okay.
Let's go. It's foggy.
It's cold. But it's not that cold.
No.
Antarctica, you'd think you had to be totally bundled up, and you don't. For a few minutes, it's okay in a sweater. Like maybe 3 minutes.
So in other words, walk fast, because I don't have a sweater on. I'm in a very lightweight shirt.
Exposure or whatever.
The ship lights were on, but they weren't necessarily needed.
But the sky was...
Yeah. That's what I said.
It was like evening. Needed. It felt more like late evening. It didn't feel like nighttime.
Yeah. So that it can affect your sleep, but if you get an interior cabin, it doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah, we have an interior. We don't know. We have no idea what it's like outside. So they did not make announcements into the room for wildlife or where you're going. So the only way to know that is to keep your TV on. This is just for this sailing. I'm sure it varies on cruise lines and ships, but you do want to keep your TV on to the bridge cam if you want to hear the announcements, probably on most Princess ships.
One of the things that they had initially mentioned, one of the naturalists, is, hey, we have a possibility of seeing southern lights down here.
And actually that was a little farther north. where it was still dark at night. But it ended up being very cloudy.
So didn't happen.
Yeah. Which that's kind of a long shot.
Yeah.
I would say it's a lot of a long shot.
But
yeah. And Antarctica, it's just not dark enough.
No. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
Part of it,
Don't think you're going to see the aurora, whatever you call the southern one.
Cornelis?
I have no idea, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like the aurora borealis, the northern lights, the southern version of that isn't going to happen at this time of year.
Australialis?
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that at all. It's something like that. Yeah.
We don't know. So that's part of it. The other part of it is the seas. How rough has this actually been for us?
That was a fear we had before we came on, even though we kind of really wanted this. Okay, so the Drake Passage can be very smooth. They call it Drake Lake. It can be rolling. They call it Drake Shake. Or it can be the monster Drake, which is what you see on YouTube of these gigantic waves and the ships going up and then dropping into the spray. That.
We didn't see that.
That's the kind that kind of scares you. Like, you kind of want to say you lived through it, but you also don't want to die. So, if you're like us and you're thinking these things, do you want to know what we had?
Well, this video's gotten so long and we have so much more information to tell you. We got to put it into part 2. So in part 2, we're going to cover how the sea was, how the weather was, and all the stuff you need to know about the ports. And don't forget that if you're thinking you might want to do this, we've got all these videos regarding this that were mentioned in the video. Hey, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you out on the seas. Hey guys, thanks for traveling with us.